Let us begin by stating that mental flexibility is a very powerful tool, but it can be misinterpreted. In high pressure, high tense situations, it can be seen as soft. In soft and gentle situations, it can be seen as cold, calloused, or abrupt. Many philosophies fall into this, Stoicism being the kind of obvious stereotype, where when everyone is panicked and frantic, the Stoic is calm and stone-faced. When everyone is dancing around, enjoying themselves, playing music, the Stoic is again stone-faced. Now, that is not actually Stoicism, but it articulates the point. Being unmoved by the environment around you is an oddity. It can be seen as a weakness by some. But using the tool, you will know that it empowers you. It gives you the full spectrum of options available to you in any given situation. So, again, the example of this is when in anger, when in conflict, being able to also have a calm voice or a loving voice or a caring voice that wants the other person to grow and thrive beyond this point, giving them a way out, giving them a story, a narrative that still allows for them to hold themselves proud. That is extremely important in an intimate relationship, but it is very important in all relationships. Similarly, when everyone is very accepting and everyone is not questioning or there is no conflict present, being able to address a conflict that is felt, that is noticed, that is observed, is again a powerful tool. It's a powerful position to take, to be the one who stands up for what they believe in, what is right, what is just, something bigger than themselves, perhaps. So, the point I want to focus on today is, where exactly are we sitting? Where do we find ourselves when we are being mentally flexible? And also, how do we cultivate that place, that identity that lives in that place? So the place is the place between the poles. So if there is yin and yang, it is the tension between the two. If there is authenticity, listening to the inner self, humility, listening to the outside world, it is in the tension between the two. Asserting what is felt and accepting what is received, again, in the tension between the two. So recognizing these paradoxes and being able to straddle both. I do want to be accepting and I want to be assertive. So holding that paradox, something only a human can do. ChatGPT cannot convey this at all, and it never will be. So, in this space, it means that when we are advocating, asserting a position, when we are addressing a conflict, we are passionate, we are trying to put it forward as strongly as we can, like a lawyer would, but without being beholden, without being betrothed, without being just captured by that idea. We are putting it forward, but it is for the world to judge. It is not... It would be a flaw to consider ourselves infallible beyond question. There's many historic examples of that. So, even in our very assertive gear, we have to have some level of acceptance. Even in our most accepting position, we have to be able to assert our needs and our wants and our wishes in appropriate ways, but definitely not to suppress them simply for the idea or the ideal of being accepting. So, in this tension between two poles, both of which have value, both of which are virtuous, in that tension, in that in-between space, we find a very strange space. How do we come to meet that? How do we come to befriend that space within us? The best way to cultivate this is to meditate. it is to sit and this takes time, and I'm not going to profess to be any sort of expert in this or any way like far down the road on this, but it does seem to be the road ahead, and it does seem to be empirically and academically the road laid out, which is to meditate, to find... Okay, let's describe meditation first. Meditation is the act of coming back to a singular point. So traditionally, this is coming back to the breath, which means that we sit and we just focus on the breath like a spotlight, and any thoughts, consider them like shapes, moving, casting shadows in the spotlight. And you recognize, you name the shape. Here's a tool. You name the shape. That is me thinking, that is me anticipating, fantasizing, planning, reminiscing, stressing, whatever it is. An ing word is how you identify these shapes, and you let it pass such that your focus remains on your breath. So you are taking full control, full ownership, full responsibility for your attention on your breath. You can also do this with a singular point on the wall, with a candle, with a fire. Now, once you get into a candle or a fire, you're dealing with something that is moving, so that offers more opportunities for a contemplative practice, which is different. But for the purposes of today, just focusing on any singular thing, and as the thoughts come in, to let them pass and retain our attention on the singular thing. That is what meditation is. How does this help us develop mental flexibility, or this weird identity that I'm trying to point towards? Well, to start, it separates ourselves from our thoughts. As those thoughts come in, we name them and we let them pass, and we are identifying as the thing that is beyond the thoughts, beyond the thinking, language-orientated brain. Second, is that we will also become quite mindful of our bodies. We will notice that there are aches, there are pains, there is cramps, there are irritations, there are different things going on that we might not be aware of, we might not have the ears to hear or listen to during the day when we're all busy and our thoughts are racing and all of this is go, 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 go. There is no time for that tiny little thorn in our toe or whatever else. We're ignoring that. I remember it kind of from this morning, but geez, like, I don't have time to do that. Whatever that is. Now, this can be some chronic pains, whether that is back pains or hips or legs or elbows or fingers or any of these different things, where we have just taken that as kind of baked into the cake. It is who we are, and therefore we accept it and ignore it. Doing this meditation brings them into, or gives them space to make themselves present. What's going to happen after that is we're going to have thoughts related to that. And again, we're going to label the thoughts. Here's me stressing, here's me planning, here's me anticipating or catastrophizing, whatever it is. You're allowing the thoughts to pass and just allowing those sensations, those bodily sensations to be. So first we have separated ourselves from our thoughts, and then we are allowing the body to be and simply witnessing it, which separates ourselves from our bodies in this kind of strange way. So there is this meta position, which is thinking, mind, language, thought, all that. And you have the body, the sensations, everything that's the input. And you are separate from both, kind of, and you are in this meta position. Now, you cannot live in this meta position. It is not a position that you can hold forever, but the practice is to try. So that when stray thoughts come in, we don't just get caught up. I can't believe they said that. I can't believe da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God. And you get caught up in thoughts. Or there is an ache or a pain and just, I can't do anything now. If I cannot lift a certain amount of weight, then what use am I as a man? Is a very kind of stereotypical sort of question of an aging man. There is a feminine side to that as well, if you want to explore that one as well. If my body does not function a certain way, then what am I as a woman? Like, there's loads of those sort of questions where the body does not function or isn't functioning right. So, geez, I might as well give up. No, we are labeling those thoughts, allowing them to pass, and just sitting with the sensation of the body. Now, all of this is not done in one sitting. All of this is done over, it's a practice. So I don't mean to say that this is a shortcut. I simply mean to say that there is an identity there that is worth befriending. It is worth cultivating. It's worth getting to know that version of yourself, which is separate from both, which is able to take in from both, but also able then to digest. That there is, once there is a little bit of distance between you and your thoughts, between you and the body, once there is even a fraction of a distance there, you have a moment to be conscious, you have a moment to shift, you have a moment to choose. In this moment of conflict, am I best to engage it, or am I best to disengage? If I engage, what is my orientation? What am I trying to get? What would success look like? Do I want to defeat the other person? Do I want them to become an ally down the line? Do I want to help them grow past a certain thing? Do I want to exchange with them? Is there a fellowship? Is there an openness? All of these different questions. How to approach. What is appropriate? If I'm a lawyer in court, I am not trying to be all too open to changing my mind and stuff like that, but I will still be open to the argument because I have to adjust mine to put forward either the prosecutor or defense case. I have to do the job, basically. It is that in those heavily debating orientated situations, it's less open. And alternatively, if I am in a relationship, in a community, in a friendship, the debating side is going to have to obviously take a back seat. But there will still be some bit of back and forth, to and fro, some sort of rules of conduct or a code of engagement to battle it out and try to figure out what the other person is seeing, what their values are, what their morals are, how they're orientated, are we aligned, are we not, trying to understand each other, not a simple thing. Having that small bit of space, cultivating that identity so that you can take a breath in and just remember, it will be an echo of an echo to start. It won't even be a whisper. It will be the softest of breezes, like just rustling at your ear. And if you catch it, great. Most of the time, to start, it'll be very difficult. And it is just coming to that and repeatedly trying to return to that is a good practice to try to develop this self between the tension points that is not caught up in either side of the virtue, because any virtue taken to its extreme is a vice. If I am assertive all the way, not good. If it, even take like wisdom, if I am wise, I can get into this so heavenly bound that I'm of no earthly good. All the words but none of the action sort of thing. Or if I'm tenacious, then tenacious can just get stuck as stubborn. All to say is that mental flexibility is an extremely powerful tool. It will make you a deeper, wiser, richer person. The people around you will appreciate it vastly and might even come for advice, for wisdom, for even just conversation, of a full spectrum conversation on a point of view. But it can be misinterpreted. And I just don't want that to turn you off. There is an identity there between these tension points that is well worth cultivating. And again, I am a student of a student of a student. So this is not something that I'm trying to teach from a mountaintop or anything like that. This is something I'm actively pursuing myself, and I'm trying to offer out the red carpet so that we can actively pursue it together, perhaps. So my advice is to meditate if this is something that sounds attractive to you. With that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.